M0FXB, welcome back to the channel. I had a question about the JYR8010 150 watt multiband end fed half wave antenna covering bands 3.5 to 20, or say 30 megahertz. Okay, so I've not used this antenna, so I can't really give advice. It seems fine to me. It does have a BalUN, I believe it's 64:1. Looking at the specifications, I mean, it's 150 watts written on the side there, 50 ohm impedance. So has anyone had any experience with this antenna? It says the antenna should be set up at least 3 meters away from the object, including leaves. In case of a metal object, it is better to be more than 5 meters away if the installation environment affects the resonant frequency. Please cooperate with the antenna analyzer to fine-tune the return length of the structure at the end. It is not recommended to dismantle. Okay, fair enough. And there's a test there on a tiny, is it VNA? And even some construction pictures there, which are correct and incorrect. So let me know. I just tend to make I buy a 49:1 BalUN myself. I've got one here, which I need to add some wire to. Just look here. So this was £17 delivered. Nice case. I'll put the link in for this as well. Patch lead to your radio there. Got a hanger if you need it. Some connectors for cable and a wing nut. In there is a 49:1 BalUN. I'll add 66-foot length of wire, and that'll work great on 2040 and fine on 1011, with not much tuning, virtually no tuning on some operations. And I'll just stretch the wire out. Now, if you want 80 meters on the same device, then you just double the length. Now, wire, you can buy garden wire. It depends if you want permanent. If you want temporary, then garden wire is fine. Yeah, and that's really cheap, you know. If you want a more permanent wire, then, you know, use a properly coated, decent thickness of wire, thicker than garden wire, I would say. And that will last, you know, for a few years. But you need to always check your antennas anyway. And this thing, I haven't opened it up, but I should open it up, shouldn't I, really? There it is there. It's actually an UNUN, as they say, UNUN. Okay. But not bad for £17. Come on. It's got a decent ferrite ring in there. And that little blue capacitor doing its thing. What else is in there? That's it, really. And it's wound in a certain way. I'm very pleased with what I'm seeing there. And the cover, I wouldn't say the cover felt waterproof. So I've got a few lengths of wire, and then you look, just put the screw in like so. So I'll link that purchasing, which I thought was absolute bargain. It was like, I can't remember if it was eBay, AliExpress, I can't remember, but I know that I just, because I've got a portable one that I use that was made for me by a friend, which I will show you. Okay, this is the portable one. Now my friend made this, and the BalUN is still a 49:1 BalUN is in there. So it's like I don't know how he did it, but he bought a ferrite and capacitor and made it. And then garden wire, which we can buy whenever we go to our local DIY. And then the reason it's on this is because it's a very quick way. If you wind it on this in a figure of 8, and you just hold on here and walk away, it just unwinds. And obviously when you wind it back up, I've done several videos with this and it works great. This one was more permanent, but otherwise, I mean, you know, the video started off about this, and the station's got one of these new iRadios. And we've got with these new iRadios, the Radtel making them as well, calling them, they're called 880 G, and there's going to be GPS and Bluetooth and definitely APRS. They at the push of a button, they become a HF radio. So I pretty much call these shack in the boxes, really, because you've got HF, VHF, UHF, 6 meters, 4 meters. Airband that works really well. That's the HF mode there. And if you hold down when you're not in HF mode, and it will even work very well as a CB, but if you hold down here, you should get the, let's do that again, DTMF of course, but anyway, you get the band scope, and it will scope and you can hear. So the station messaged me because he wants to know what to use, you know, on the different antennas. The middle antenna is, just going through those pictures again. The middle antenna is receive only, okay, SMA connection. Receive only SI 4732 chip. You're never going to transmit on this radio on upper sideband, lower sideband CW, but the first antenna, many of the bands do transmit, okay? You know, the middle antenna, if you want to receive CB and HF and all that, it's going to need to be quite long, yeah? You can use a CB telescopic and it'll be okay on CB, FM, and it won't transmit on AM. But you do need two antennas. You need a VHF, UHF antenna. Now, if you're out and about, the rubber duck that comes with it is completely fine for picking up airband and ham radio signals if you get up high. If you're at home in your shack like I am right now, I'm in this small room, yeah? Then I do actually pick up aircraft coming over, and I'll pick up a very strong signal on my node, which is in the same room as me, which is basically effectively a radio connected to the internet that transmits to my other radios. And that's called a hubnet node. That's my hubnet node. It's basically an all-star node. But if you really want good reception at home, you need to buy a white stick collinear. Let's see if I can put it into Amazon now. So these are very common, and you can shop around, try and get a better price. This is just Amazon. So this thing, I mean, you can put them in your loft. They work good. You want to get them high. In your loft, yeah, you're going to have some slight attenuation because of your tiles or your felt roof, you know, and you're not going to get it quite as high, but the safety aspect is so much better. So they call them white stick antenna because they look like white stick antenna. They look like walking sticks. Have a look there. That's always going to be, in my opinion, your best choice for airband, VHF, UHF. You can get the scanner ones, the Discone scanner type. These type, look. And they do work well, I think, more for receive myself. And they cover a wide range of bands. You know, look at that one there, 3000 megahertz. Quite annoying to put together because there's all those pieces. I've got one out here. It's literally, I've had it 20 years, and I can't even remove the SO239 PL249 from it. It's seized solid. But it works. I don't know how well it works, but it works well enough for me to receive airband and ham radio bands. So lots of choices, bit of info there. I'm not an expert. I'm just talking about my experience and what I think. A lot of questions about, or you're not going to get good reception if you just spend money. You've got to put it up in the right location. You've got to be in the right location. You've got to make sure that your connection, your patch lead, and I tend to buy just long patch leads myself, like 5 meter patch lead, 10 meter patch lead. So all the soldering's been done. But then the downside is getting that one end through your wall, through your window. And you tend to have to remove one of the PL259s to poke it through, don't you? Which is a bit annoying, but at least you get everything included. So that's what I tend to do. And so thanks for watching my channel and having fun playing radio. Catch you on air. Remember, I'm the YouTuber that comes on air every day, drinking coffee and talks to my radio friends. 7